This is Kern Tips inviting you to some exciting football recollections as we review highlights of 1954. Well, our schedules take us the length and breadth of the great Southwest, so come along now. Let's watch the University of Arkansas play the Baylor Bears in that handsome setting known as Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's a first down on the Baylor 9-yard line, and the ball goes to Henry Moore. The big fullback drives hard, leaps high for a 3-yard pickup to the Baylor 6. One play later, just a yard away, there's a good fake to the outside, but it's Moore again into the big middle. Arkansas takes a first quarter lead, 6-0. Then the Razorbacks scored again to lead 12-0. Now watch the Bears come fighting back. This fine 17-yard pass from Billy Hooper to Rex Lamyette sets up the boys from Baylor on their own 41. Ground plays gain the Fork of 46, and here goes Allen Jones all the way. Lots of speed, some beautiful blocks, and Baylor has a touchdown. Kick was good. Baylor now trails 7-12. A fumble sets up another chance for the boys from the land of opportunity. Arkansas moves from the Baylor 30-yard line. George Walker flips a beauty to Preston Carpenter. It pays off. There may be no joy in Mudville, but in Fayetteville things are really jumping. If you don't think football's a lot of fun, just watch this. No doubt about it that Preston Carpenter is a happy guy. Arkansas 18-7. In the third quarter, the Bears begin to hack away at the Forker lead from the Arkansas 36. Billy Hooper lifts a button hook special to Charlie Smith. The big fella slips over to the sideline for a 24-yard pickup on this one. Walker finally grabs him in the shadows on the Arkansas 12-yard line. Short stabs carry the Bears to the 1-yard line, and Reuben Soggy gets all set to go the final 3 feet. The point is good. The Razorbacks now lead by 4, 18-14. From their own 40, the Bears get busy to rub out that Arkansas lead. Soggy makes the first move over left guard for 16. That sets it up on the Arkansas 44-yard line. Then ground plays carry the Bears to the Razorback 27. Here's a key play on the drive. Hooper throws a 10-yard pass to Greminger. Harry goes out of bounds on the Arkansas 5. Now watch number 14. That's Billy Hooper. Be our guest in the end zone and see Hooper go wide to his left for the third Baylor touchdown. The Bears have moved ahead 20-18. Point was missed, and you have the makings of another Frank Merriwell finish to this ball game. Buddy Benson now runs from the Arkansas tailback spot, gives you a tip-off that the Hogs are out to do, not to die this October afternoon. The boy just won't give up. Rack up 21 yards for the driving, slippery Benson. Following this, there came an exchange of fumbles that left the Hogs in good shape to try a field goal from the Baylor 12. Carpenter's kick was good, and Arkansas was off and running for the title with a 21-20 victory over Baylor. Now come along to Kyle Field in College Station. It's TCU and Texas A&M in another tight fight for the 1954 season. Ronnie Clinkscale is under as TCU moves from the Aggie 4. The Froggy Speed Merchant swings wide, then cuts in, and TCU is out in front, 7-0. Later in the first period, Clinkscale calls a pass. It's a long one ticketed for Johnny Crouch. The big Froggy end goes down, then turns out. A familiar pass maneuver that sends the Froggies into the lead by 2 touchdowns. The Aggies move into high gear in the second half. Here's a typical nifty. The long pass from Elwood Kettler to Benny Sinclair, good for 33 yards. A beauty. Now watch Joe Sherrow take a punch at the left side after a pitch out. This one got 6 more yards. These two teams traded 3 touchdowns each on this sunny October afternoon. The big difference turned out to be the point after touchdown. And then those Aggies turned in the last quarter touch, but the final score, TCU 21, A&M 20. The first week in November found the Rice Owls trying their hands against those high-stepping Arkansas Razorbacks. Pinky Nesbitt of Rice scored first early in the second quarter. Then came thunder from the Ozark Mountains. Here's a 24-yard pass with Walker pitching, Souter catching for Arkansas. And just a few plays later, it's Walker in from a yard out. Extra point makes it 7-6 Arkansas. Now watch one of the highlight plays of the season. Dickie Magle is back in punt formation for Rice. He gets off a good kick that sails all the way down to the Arkansas 27-yard line. George Walker is the safety man. He's in early trouble, but that's no hill for a climber, and George is home free. A 73-yard punt return for a tally. That George Walker played this one for all it was worth. Then the Razorbacks added the extra point. That makes it Arkansas 14, Rice 6. After the kickoff, Rice turns on the power and moves downfield with sparklers like this. Brian Stone picks up 14 yards with a smash up the middle. Ashley Proctor is the man under for the Owls. He rides the high tide up front for the touchdown, and that makes it 14-12, Arkansas still leading. Now watch a series of short-range punches by Rice that gobbled up the yards but fell short of the goal line in the final analysis. So the Owls fall back to regroup for a field goal. Here are 3 fast points off the toe of Jerry Hall. The Owls slip ahead 15-14. Of course, the record books tell you that most of the touchdown traffic was one way to Arkansas. Watch an innocent bystander get caught in a traffic jam. Boys, there'll be days like that. Well, the play of the Arkansas Razorbacks this day and through the season might well be summed up in this particular scoring operation from 38 yards out. There's crafty footwork by Walker. There's great blocking downfield. You just don't stop a team like that. Final score, Arkansas 28, Rice 15. Now it's Texas and TCU at Fort Worth on a mid-November game. The Froggies take advantage of a Longhorn bobble, pounce on a fumble, and turn it promptly into a touchdown. Early in the first quarter, TCU leads 7-0. At the TCU 45-yard line, the natives are restless tonight, and those flags fly. But Ray Taylor keeps right on going. He ticks off 55 yards to the goal line. Texas offside, penalty refused. TCU leads 14-0. In the second quarter, the Longhorns are on their own 28. Charlie Brewer goes back to loosen up the secondary. He pitches a strike. Delano Womack pulls it in on the TCU 40 and goes the rest of the way on his own gifted heels. Texas trails TCU 7-14. Well, if you're in the mood for a foot race, try this one for size. This time it's TCU's Jimmy Swink. He breaks through the middle and romps 68 yards for another fast 6 points. Extra point was missed. TCU 20, Texas 7. You know a fella can get in the habit of this. Here's Jimmy Swink again for the Froggies. This time he goes off tackle, not quite all the way, make it a 44-yard pickup before Joe Youngblood takes Jimmy out of bounds on the Texas 2-yard stripe. Now watch Ronnie Clinkscale call the jumping jack play. He goes up and over for the 4th Froggy touchdown. It is 27-7 TCU. One of the bread and butter plays of the T formation, the left halfback to the opposite side. Chester Simchick does the Longhorn left half. He puts jam on that bread and butter and rolls 62 yards for a touchdown. Trim that TCU lead to 27-14. Well, this looks like 5 o'clock traffic, but that hot rod is Chester Simchick again. He lays a peel into right tackle again for 28 more yards before he's taken out of bounds on the TCU 16. A change in directions in the 4th quarter. Texas calls on Billy Quinn for the touchdown try. He responds with eloquence, and the Longhorns now trail 21-27. The Froggies counted quickly with a tally to make it 34-21, but the Longhorns kept grinding with Billy Quinn for 14 yards. And then just a few plays later, Charlie Brewer works the keeper over the left side. The Longhorns stay very much in the ball game because it is 34-28. TCU still out in front. Late in the game, Texas pulled the fat from the fire. The Steers grabbed a Froggy fumble and broke up the ball game. Here's Delano Womack with a first down at the TCU 18-yard line. That tees that ball up for a tally, and then Womack drives for 6 points to tie it up. The point after made the big difference, and the Longhorns go home with a large economy-sized victory, 35-34. The Rice Owls and the Texas Aggies tangle on a balmy afternoon in the middle of November. Early in the first period, Dickie Magle pulls down an Aggie pass. The run back works for 12 yards, so here's a first down for the Owls on the Aggie 46-yard line. The Owls make hay immediately. On the next play, Ashley Proctor steps back to pass for the Owls. It wasn't planned this way, but it works. Maury Stone finally grabs it and goes in. 46 yards on the play, and the Owls go ahead, 7-0. Middle of the first quarter, the Aggies run from the Rice 36. Don Kostick bangs the left side. His mates roll out the red carpet for him, and Don moves 23 yards. Somewhere underneath that pile is the Rice 13-yard line. The Aggies dynamite their way to this one. Elwood Kettler does the keeper, and he's in for the touchdown. It's tied up 7-7. Change directions for the second quarter, and here's some backfield magic to send Kostick on a delayed buck. Make that a 14-yard pickup for the Aggie fullback and rack up a first down. The Cadets are 3 yards away from the uranium mines. On the second down try, Robbins goes over for the Aggies. Kick is missed, so it's Aggies 13, Rice Owls 7. A few minutes later, the Owls nail an Aggie fumble, and from 10 yards out, Pinky Nesbitt passes to Lemoyne Holland, and that's all, brother. It's a new ball game, 13-13. Here come 2 points in a hurry. In the third quarter, Sherrill punts from his end zone. Eddie Rabin crashes in to block the kick. Marshall Crawford covers for the Owls, so mark up a safety for Rice. They now lead 15-13. We're in the fourth quarter. Pinky Nesbitt comes out of this pandemonium. He's still got the ball for the pass to Dickie Magle. This one gets 23 yards for the Owls, plus a first down on the Aggie 21-yard line. But there's no fake about this one. It is direct and to the point. Morris Stone stabs the line for a grinding 16, first and goal to go from the Aggie 5. So Rice calls on Jerry Hall to ram for the touchdown. Both teams scored later. The final outcome, Rice 29, Aggies 19. This is Razorback Stadium at Fayetteville, and these sharp-eyed fellows follow the action as the SMU Mustangs meet the Razorbacks in what's known as a perfect football day. Here's our first look at SMU. This is Dwayne Nutt, who's back to bury touchdown gold in the arms of Frank Idem. This tally puts the Ponies in the lead 7-0 over the Porkers. Now we're heading south in the second period on the Razorback 28-yard line. Meet Frank Idem again as he roars through the middle to tap cash register a second time. SMU 14 and Arkansas nothing. That's how matters stood at halftime. Mr. Idem had himself a field day this afternoon. Frank breaks through the left side and goes down the sidelines for 27 more yards. The Ponies are on the Arkansas 26. Now let's go down to eye level and watch Dwayne Nutt. This time he passes to his left end. That's big Ed Burnett. This one worked for 12 yards, and the Mustangs now operate on Arkansas's 11-yard stripe. It's third down on the 3. What do? You ask Frank Idem to lug the pig hide to the goal line. SMU now leads Arkansas 21-0 in the third quarter. Arkansas trails by 3 touchdowns, but the book says you gotta have heart, and those Hogs have it. George Walker starts the Razorback rally with a 12-yard pass to Carpenter. A beauty. And here comes the number 2 shot. Walker again, and Carpenter again. This time for 17 more yards. Now let's reverse directions for the fourth quarter. Walker can box that compass nonetheless, and he throws a touchdown pass to Thomason for a beautiful catch. Arkansas breaks the goose egg on that scoreboard. Well, time's running out, so the Razorbacks stay aloft. It's Walker to heave a beauty. It goes down to Matthews for 21 yards, and that carries to the Ponies' 7-yard line. And here's the setup for the final score. George Walker calls the strategy. He throws again, this time to McFadden, but the Ponies made that early lead stand up in the final score, 21-14 SMU. Now let's look in on the Baylor-SMU game on this bright November day in Dallas and join the mob in the big Cotton Bowl Stadium. Idem takes Dwayne Nutt's pass for a first down on Baylor's 6, and we're in business. Suppose you're a linebacker and here comes Dwayne Nutt. You think you've got him stopped, old boy, but Dwayne's a good man. He swings wide and goes around you for a touchdown. SMU 7, Baylor and you nothing. Later in the first period, the Ponies go from their own side of the 50-yard line. Here's a pitch out for Frank Idem. We step downstairs fast for a close look at one of those rocket-like rambles. This boy can go. 17 yards this trip. Well, look, fellas, let's ease up for a little slow-motion treatment of a Pony pass that scores. Nutt is the passer. Here's that man again. Frank Idem shows up to snatch it at the 3-yard line and drives across for the second Pony touchdown. 14-0 for the Mustangs. But Bears don't hibernate forever. Del Schaffner locates a big barrel of honey over on the far sidelines, and he devours 33 delicious yards for a first down on the SMU 12-yard stripe. You'll recognize Baylor's number 37 as Reuben Soggy. He's noted for straightaway power. This is the kind that digs for touchdowns. It's Baylor 6, SMU 14. In the second quarter, the Mustangs place an envious eye on the Baylor goal line, but the flat pass is always the calculated risk. This one backfires, and Del Schaffner sails on for an 87-yard jaunt. Watch the yard markers go sailing by as the Bears get back in the ball game. The score is now SMU 14, Baylor 13. Those Bears roll again from the SMU 45-yard line. Billy Hooper boxes strategy. He fades to throw. He spots Reuben Soggy. Soggy moves on across the 30-yard stripe. Then he cuts to the middle of the field. Finally, there's trouble on the Mustang 14-yard line, but it's 31 yards gained on this play. 3 plays and 13 yards later, Del Schaffner goes straight ahead for the touchdown to move the Bears out in front 20-14. That kick was good. Now let's go to the middle of the third quarter. The Ponies try to launch another kite. Again, lightning strikes, and its name is Del Schaffner. Del slips in from a blind spot for the interception. He's over the midfield stripe to set up a first down for Baylor on the Pony 48-yard line. Near the goal line, Schaffner lays the block. Dupree bounces free and goes in for the 4th Baylor tally. That builds Baylor's lead to 26-14. Here comes Baylor on the SMU 37. Hooper is the man under. He shovels one out to Soggy for a sweep around the right side. All goes according to Hoyle until Soggy hits the 30-yard line, and now watch a crossword puzzle. He does right well until a pony named Blake Tucker moves in to spell him down. It's a 19-yard run for the Baylor fullback. Now let's start the fourth quarter. The Bears are close up, and Weldon Hartley moves over for the score. A big lead now for the Bears, 33-14. But those ponies aren't through. They aim to close that gap, and here's their version of the pitch out. John Marshall turns in a beautiful run for the final score, and that was all. Out come Baylor 33, SMU 21. Now let's watch the annual Thanksgiving tussle between the Texas Aggies and the Texas Longhorns in Memorial Stadium at Austin. The Longhorns have possession of the ball on that pass interception by Chester Simchick. It's early in the first quarter. Here comes Joe Youngblood wide around his left side. The sidelines turn him back, but it's a 5-yard gallop, and the Longhorns are savoring a touchdown. Then from 2 yards out, Billy Quinn strikes a blow for Texas, and the Longhorns lead the Aggies 6-0. Time marches on, and here comes the second quarter. This shows you one of the prettier pass plays of the day. Charlie Brewer can pass that ball on the run, and Menon Shriver can catch it going full speed. That's a 36-yard gain for the Longhorns, and they're down on the Aggie 23. Brewer still brews the tee for Texas, and he can pass to a tee as well as from it. Watch this slingshot find the hungry arms of Youngblood on a 20-yard nifty. That makes it 13-0 for the Steers, and a pat on the back for Joe. Just before halftime, the Aggies work their way to the 2-yard line, then bounding Bob Easley makes it good. At intermission, the Longhorns lead by 6 points over the Aggies, 13-7. We're early in the third quarter now. The Longhorns are on their own 21. This is Billy Quinn. He breaks into the clear for another sparkler in Texas' parcel of pigskin pyrotechnics. Billy piles up 51 yards on this jaunt. Joe Sherrow does the overhaul job and brings him down on the Aggie 28-yard line. And here's another of those picture passes by the Longhorns. Charlie Brewer throws for Texas. Menon Shriver again goes all out to make a great catch. That gives the Longhorns a 19-7 lead over the Cadets. But watch those Aggies come along. They work the draw play to perfection. Here goes Don Kostick for the touchdown distance from 25 yards out. Then Texas came on with 3 more points with a field goal, and the final score, Texas 22, Aggies 13. On the climax Saturday in November, the Rice Owls invade Waco to do battle with the Baylor Bears. Throckmorton plunges home to give Rice a 7-0 lead. In the second quarter, Baylor's Billy Hooper shovels out to Reuben Soggy. Now watch this. They call this a picture play, too. Here's how the resourceful player redesigns the pattern. He gives his coach some new ideas plus a few gray hairs. Soggy's doing what radio announcers call ad-libbing, and the boy's good. This is a single-handed maneuver for 28 yards until Mago and Holland finally unwind him. The Baylor Bears on their own 45, and they have to kick. Dupree's back to boot, and he does. Now here's a fine demonstration of what makes an All-American football player. Dickie Magle has the ball on his own 9, and 91 yards later, Rice has a touchdown. Beautiful blocking by his teammates are part of that story. Great running by the Taylor Terror tells the rest. Watch that Richard Ramble. So trailing 13-0, the Bears start to move. L.G. Dupree rips off 14 rugged yards through the middle to get the Bears started on the Rice 24-yard line. And now just suppose you were the umpire. Here's what you'd see. A close-up look at a very determined Bear named Dupree ramming for short gains on the ground and bruising the opposition. Just watch this lad sock 'em. And here's the payoff for the Bears. They tighten the score to 7-13. In the third quarter, the Bears make with the touchdown again. Opening gun for the big drive is fired by the rugged Allen Jones. Allen goes to his right and ripples down the sideline for 44. This Jones boy can walk that tightrope any day. It's first down for the Bears on the Rice 48. Then 5 plays later, the Bears elect to go upstairs. Billy Hooper has the range. Henry Greminger comes off the high board for a diving catch that adds 16 yards as Baylor moves along. The climax to this scoring drive rides the lanky stride of Del Schaffner. There's a brief pause for Schaffner identification along the sidelines, but Del moves across. That puts the Bears ahead 14-13 after a good kick for extra point. And here's the payoff in the fourth quarter. The Owls set up a rally and get a drive going for a touchdown. Jerry Hall is good for 10 down the middle. For the final 7 yards, Mago heads for the picnic grounds. Then the Owls held off the Bears the rest of the way on the final score. Rice 20, Baylor 14. That same weekend in Dallas, TCU and SMU put on their usual conference finale. Here, John Marshall of the Ponies gets loose in the first quarter. He romps to the TCU 7-yard line before Clinkscale and Ingram bring this 41-yard run to an end. And a few plays later, Dwayne Nutt is good for the touchdown. A good kick gives the Ponies a 7-0 lead. Then midway in the second quarter, Curtis gives the oval to Ken Weinberg. The rangy halfback slides away from a pair of tacklers, gets to the sidelines, and keeps on roaming and the gloaming for 19. Marshall and Berry finally roped him on the 3. Curtis is the man of the moment. He drives for the touchdown. Kick is missed, and SMU still leads 7-6. Well, the teams battled even until the middle of the last quarter, and then the tide turned. SMU's John Marshall goes wide from the TCU 25 and picks up 14. That's a first down on TCU's 11. 3 plays later, the Mustangs call the same play, and again it works as Marshall proves a master of this particular play. SMU leads TCU 14-6. After the kickoff, the Froggies drive to the Mustang 29, and here's a shift in football fortunes. Doyle Nix has possession, and he lights a shuck for the Froggy goal line 71 yards away. Final score, SMU 21, TCU 6. So this means that Arkansas wins the 1954 Southwest Conference Championship. Let's see the 1955 Cotton Bowl game between Arkansas and Georgia Tech. The Razorbacks break the ice in the second quarter. Walker goes over for the first touchdown, and the Arkansas 6-point lead stands up through the first half. Georgia Tech tried to stay up with plays like this. George Volkert swings right around the right side for 24 yards, and that's a first down for Tech on Arkansas's 27. Those wrecks were a constant threat. And Georgia Tech had plenty of trick stuff. Sample this deception as apparently everybody. Brigman offered the ball here, there, and yonder, and finally kept it for an 8-yard run down the side. Halftime score, Arkansas 6, Georgia Tech nothing. Well, intermission at the Cotton Bowl always means fine entertainment from many high school bands and a great show by the famous Kilgore College. Let's watch them. Near the middle of the third quarter, Tech a drive that gets a lift from a pass, Mitchell to Durham, and it's good for 9 yards. Then from 3 yards out, the ball is flipped to Rotenberry. He goes wide around the right side. It pays off. The kick was good, and Tech moves ahead 7-6 over the University of Arkansas. Later in the third quarter, Walker moves out for a pass. Lyons is in the clear to take it for a 17-yard gain for the Razorbacks. This has the makings of another Razorback ramble because it's first down in midfield for Arkansas. Still trailing by a point, the Porkers stick to the air, but this one backfires. Walker throws one that gets batted around. Mitchell finally grabs it for Georgia Tech on his 37. He runs it back for 25 yards, and that sets up a first down on Arkansas's 38. The Yellow Jackets in possession. In the fourth quarter, and here's a Georgia Tech touchdown drive manufactured by brute strength in the line. Number 42 is Hunzinger, and he's on call. 2 tries get 12 yards. Here's another for 5 yards. The big fullback is hard to stop. Then Thomason takes a turn and gets 4. This is full steam ahead. Madison is also a bulldozer, good for 5, so Madison again, this time for 7. Give that ball to Thompson, and he takes over for a 5-yard gain. Then Madison again for 3 more yards, and that tees it up. This is the old 1-2 punch. Mitchell keeps and gets the final yard, and it's Georgia Tech 14, our football highlight for 1954. Next time, be with us again when we go to the games with Humboldt.